best home defense pistol on the market. First off, you ask anybody, the best home defense gun is a shotgun, okay? A lot of people don't want to take up their time loading it in the bottom, cartridge by cartridge by cartridge, and only get 7 shots, and that's if the one is in the chamber before you shoot it. So why would somebody switch over to a pistol if a shotgun's got all that power and it's got all that spread? Well, recently, the Taurus has made it pretty popular, but also Smith & Wesson has come out with what's is known as the Smith & Wesson Governor that shoots 4 10-bore shot shells. There's 4 of these little pellets in here in the 000 buck. Then these seem to be the favorite amongst everybody, even at the gun shows. What these are is they're 2 discs at the end, and behind those discs are 12 pellets, and those 12 pellets give a huge spread. As for personal defense, do you want a huge spread? Well, if there's a crowd of people and you're defending yourself in that crowd, even if you hit the target, this will go through the target, so there better be nobody in the way of what you're aiming of except that person. Or else I would say carry a standard pistol. Also, if they're far enough away that you should have to worry about aiming, you either have no threat to your life, or you should advance upon them, like say they're a mass shooter or something. That being said, there's another few perks of the governor compared to the judge, because the judge is pretty much the most well-known. It's bought everywhere. It's a great gun. In fact, I traded my judge in for this. My dad got a judge, and I decided to put some money up and get a Smith & Wesson. This also shoots 45 ACP and 45 Colt. If I'm not mistaken, the judges do not shoot 45 ACP. This is the least powerful round you can put in there into one of these guns, unless you have a shotgun round of birdshot that's 410. So, first off, this fits in here through the back like this. Okay, you don't need to drop it in. It's already loaded in. Okay, this is what the moon clip looks like. Okay. The 45 ACP rounds go into the moon clip, as you can see, and line up the bullets to be dropped in here. I do not know why Smith & Wesson has not made it available on all their revolvers to be reloaded this way. Because, let's say you're going to use a Model 60, okay? This is a standard 357 snub-nose revolver. Okay, say I want to reload it. First, I'll drop the bullets out. It's empty. This is a speed loader, okay? This is what you use to reload a revolver, okay? It's HK too, and when you're using an HK and a Smith & Wesson, you need to have gravity do the work, because if I push this far enough against this spot here, it'll get jammed in there. So they drop in, and they're in, and that's good to go. Okay, if my hands are shaking, if I'm nervous, if I'm in any condition that I make the slightest wrong move, push it in too far and it jams, I'm screwed. If you take out a gun and you're playing with it, somebody realizes you just tried to kill them, and they have a better chance of staying alive by walking up to you and caving your head in than they do running away. So, we'll count how long it takes to fill up one of these. Empty it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here you have a bunch of small caliber 38 specials. Okay, with this, empty it. 1, 2, 2.5 seconds. That's how fast you can load up one of these. Now, yes, the 45 ACP is the baby bullet of this gun. It's almost so impractical for the gun that the judge does not use it. But if you need accurate shots instead of spreading shots, whether it's for public safety or whatever, you're going to want to use these so you put it in and you have 6 shots off the go, instead of slowly putting in 45 Colts, slowly putting them in. So, oh, by the way, you cannot load 45 ACPs into this gun without the moon clip. That is one drawback. But alright, let's load everything back up here. Unlike Colts, the Smith & Wessons rotate counterclockwise. If I remember right, my judge also did this too. And what that means is, if I want my first 2 rounds to be these big pellet penetrating rounds, I don't line the one up with the barrel. What I do is I line this guy up with the barrel. And when I do that, when I move the gun, the next cylinder to be shot out of will be to the right, because it rotates this way, that way. So let me just empty this out and pull the hammer back and show you. Okay, it's clean out of bullets. Okay, now say you have one lined up with the barrel and you think that's what's going to shoot. The one to the right of it just lined up with the barrel. So that's the end of that. Also, with the Smith & Wesson Governor, you get 6 shots instead of just 5. The Governor comes with 5 shots. Also, with the Smith & Wesson Governor, you're looking at it to be balanced when it's loaded, as opposed to be balanced when it's not loaded, so that when most of the time you're carrying it and aiming it, it's balanced. It has a somewhat aluminum frame and stainless steel where all the pressure goes in and it needs to be. So it is a very light gun when it's not loaded, and when it is loaded, all the weight is centered. So that's a huge plus. They sell these with the Crimson Traces, this button here. As soon as you grab this button and squeeze, you'll see a little laser, okay? That laser will either tell you where the center of your spread will be or your next bullet will be. So you hold that down and shoot. The trigger for it is, if you go to the range and you're competitive shooting with a revolver for some reason, you shut that off and the laser stays off. This laser is always on standby, so when you need to go to your house. So if you want something in your house that you can literally just grab and the person thinks that you're unarmed in the dark of night, you have this, okay? When you're ready to shoot, you squeeze the laser, if you're not already squeezing it, and you take them out. It has the spread of a shotgun, but with less pellets. I did hear they tried to make these illegal before they came out because of the barrel size, because a sawed-off shotgun has the exact same spread as this, except many more pellets. So when we're talking about the spread of a sawed-off shotgun here, we're talking like very, very huge spread. And for you to use it outside your home, a shotgun round, pretty much looking for trouble as far as whether you're defending yourself or not. The great part about the gun is it has the extra round, and compared to the Governor, it has the moon clip, which is great for the range. When you're trying to learn your revolver shooting, these are cheap rounds to get compared to 45 Colts. Let's see. Crimson Trace that you can buy with it as an option is great. This will cost like $100 to $200 more than your Judge, but the Governor is better. When I heard Smith & Wesson made the same one as the Governor, I already automatically knew it was better because of the brand name. Taurus versus Smith & Wesson, but I figure out a breakdown for you guys what really is going on with the Governor compared to the Judge. The 45 ACP is a nice range perk when it comes to self-defense. If you're going to be loading these in there, you might as well be loading 45 Colt, which the Judge already shoots. So they're even on that aspect. The extra shot in the cylinders, 6 shots instead of 5, that can come into play if you got one shot left, and your life depends on it. So you'd have to ask somebody who lived under those circumstances. Um, uh, the other thing too is just it's not like holding out a barbell when you shoot it. Okay, that's how I would describe the judge, holding out a barbell. I would also describe this, even with the extra round, as being lighter than the judge when fully loaded compared to the judge itself. The for concealed carry, the Taurus makes a judge that goes for concealed carry. It's meant to be put in your pocket or inside your waistband. You're not going to get away with that with the Governor. If you're going to be carrying the Governor, it's going to be in a heavy duty outside the waist holster. If you're loading shotgun shells and going out to going out to shoot rounds off that just aren't safe for the public. That this gun is all about the shotgun shell aspect. Nobody would buy a 45 Colt or a 45 Colt gun just for the 45 Colts unless they were doing cowboy reenactments and stuff. The 45 ACP pretty much would have them done. So if you're buying a 45 Colt, odds are you're doing cowboy reenactments and you're not going to use a gun whose cylinder is longer than the barrel. I mean, come on. Most likely you're getting this for home and or personal defense. So that being said, I would say if you're getting it for home defense and you're not willing to take up a shotgun, then it's great. It is great. If you have the choice between this and the judge, wherever your money allows you to go, I would say, because if you're gonna buy a judge without a Crimson Trace on it, and you can get judges with Crimson Trace on it, if you're gonna get a judge with the Crimson Trace, that's the same price as a Governor without it, get the Governor. If you don't have the $200 extra to put on top of the $500 to get the Governor, then go ahead and get the judge. If you could get the extra $200 within a reasonable period of time, your money will be well spent if you go for the Governor. Is the judge not going to do its job when it comes to home defense? The judge is a spectacular gun for home defense for those who are too lazy to get a $150 shotgun and learn how to load it. However, that being said, I mean, you can even go online, go on eBay and get a rail and a $13 laser for a shotgun if you wanted to. You have all of this in here. This is basically for home defense for somebody who pretty much just it wants a small, tight revolver that they can pick up and be ready to annihilate anything. And the judge will do the exact same thing. It's just how do I put this? Smith & Wesson has been around a lot longer than Taurus. It will be around a lot longer than Taurus. When Smith & Wesson does something, they do it right. Anything that Taurus missed over or did wrong, Smith & Wesson has made sure. If there was such thing as the perfect judge, this Smith & Wesson Governor is exactly what that is. If there are any flaws, any extra weight in certain areas on the milling or on the grip or anything that is wrong on a judge, it has been corrected in the Governor. However, does that take away that the Governor gets all these sales? No, the Governor or the judge gets all these sales. The judge deserves all these sales. It's a fabulous firearm. But is it can you compare one of these and saying one is better and one is the other? Yes, you can. Can you compare one of these? Like, would I put if I was shooting at somebody with a judge? If I was to have two of me and shoot at me with one of these or a Taurus, I would say 52% is in my favor of having the governor before the other guy goes down, because I definitely have a run for my money there. But I would just say, go to your local gun store and just pick up the governor and then pick up a judge, and you'll know the difference. We're kind of talking about like Mexican Stratocasters and guitar compared to an American Stratocaster. The only way for you to know the difference is to just put it in your hands and pick it up. So that being said, the governor is my pick. It's definitely not as budget friendly as the judge, but if you want to make sure that you got everything going right for you, then I'd go for the governor. You would never have to worry about the governor crapping out on you in the middle of a shot, as opposed to a judge. Another thing, when this says 410 2.5-inch shotgun shells, don't put a 3-inch in there, okay? Just don't. What'll happen is the crimpets will open up in this section here, and then when you go to pull the lever back or pull the trigger back to turn it, what's going to happen is these crimpets aren't going to allow you to turn it. You just broke the mechanism in here that you cannot open up and fix. Smith & Wesson has to fix that. And you just have been found guilty of shooting the wrong type of ammunition out of your gun. Okay? Being found guilty of that is like the scarlet letter. You should have a brand tattooed on your forehead for that. Just ask every question you have to the person who's selling it. If somebody has only a judge and you're thinking about buying a governor from the other guy, ask the guy what's better about the governor than the judge from the guy with the governor. Then go over to the guy with the judge and say, why is the governor better? If he says absolutely no reason, he's lying to you. Okay? So go up to that guy and say you found a governor for the same price as his judge. And if he tries to tell you they're equal, then get rid of him right away. So and go buy the governor. But the guy with the governor, Smith & Wesson, for him to sell this, he does realize that everybody thinks that the number one gun to go to on pistol 410 bore shots are judges. So he will need to know why this is better. If he says technically just because it's a Smith & Wesson it's better, he's absolutely right. But if he can't break it down for you, don't listen to that guy either. And don't listen to things like stories of somebody, their judge is not working when it was supposed to. Don't listen to anybody who's trying to tell you not to buy a gun and to buy theirs based on stories of what they heard, because they won't give you the source to that story, and they're always trying to get into your wallet. But if you want to just take my review as a personal thing on it, me telling you it's weighted better when it's loaded, which is better than having it weighted when it's not loaded, because these shells do take up a certain amount of weight in this gun. Also, this sight here will glow in the dark, okay? And the other guy won't be able to see that sight glow in the dark because he's looking at the black end of it. If you go with or without the Crimson Trace, you really don't need a laser to guide you on where a shotgun shell's going to hit. You just point and shoot. You can even shoot from the hip and point. It's lighter than the Judge, while still maintaining that balance. A lot of it is aluminum, while the interior of where the shells are, where they explode in the barrel, is stainless steel, which reinforces everything. Just because the Judge is heavier does not make it more heavy duty. The extra shell can come in handy. Like, say you were going to buy this instead of a Judge, and you decide to send off a warning shot. Boom, you send off that warning shot, you have a whole Judge left of ammunition to shoot. So, it is better than the Judge. Is it that much better? I think for the price, it is. But is it that much better just compared gun for gun? only if you're real finicky about your guns or you want perfect performance. Like, if you actually want to buy something to protect your house, you should not be going halfway on it. You should also be learning how to use a shotgun as opposed to one of these pistols. But if you have asthma like my father does and you can't get to a shotgun, then these pistols are just great. You can shoot from the hip too. They don't have to be raised up. The guy doesn't even have to know you're aiming at anything. This is something that by the time somebody breaks into your house and sees you, not even the gun, they're gone. It's just it's the perfect weapon for close quarters and just home defense. Like I said, it can't be beat. So that being said, take care and feel free to leave any comments. See ya.